Welcome everyone to my tier list for Counter-Strike weapons. I have all the weapons here that shoot bullets and the knife, and I'm gonna rank them from D to S. You've probably seen one of these already, so I'm not gonna explain it in detail, but D is the worst weapon, S is the best weapon, and everything in between are these ranks. So let's get right into it and start with the P2000. The P2000 is one of my favorite CT side pistols. It just sounds really weak, but for a pistol it does reasonable damage. Yeah, it's a starter pistol, but I like it a lot. It's only good for the first round and for bait setups. So for example, when you have an an eco, and your teammate has a P250, you're just gonna stand in the corner and they check you, and then your teammate can shoot him in the face. So I'm gonna rank it at C. It's a solid pistol, but it doesn't really have anything else over the other pistols, which I'm gonna cover later. But it's free. Then we're gonna get to the USB. Now the USB, I really don't use the USB a lot. I think it has a lot less ammo than the P2000, which is an issue. I really like to spam a lot, even with the pistols. So I'm not fond of this weapon. I find it funny to remove the suppressor and just go for the weak sounding gun without a suppressor. It's pretty fun, but no, it's not my favorite. I know the meta suggests otherwise, but it's just not my favorite. So yeah, I'm gonna have to rank it at D. I'm sorry. Okay, now the Glock. The Glock is shit. It really is. The 3-round burst doesn't work like it should, and it does pitiful damage against armor, so it's pretty bad. However, I'm not going to put it at D. It's precisely because it has 20 rounds in a magazine, and for a pistol round, that's a lot. Just try to go for headshots, and also you can spam away at the body. The P2000 and USB have to reload much earlier than this weapon, so I'm going to put it at C. I think the 20-round magazine is pretty nice, and I always try to switch to a Glock when I have a kill with the P2000. The P250. I like this weapon a lot. I don't think they should have taken away its one-hit kill headshot. I've made a whole video about it, which I will link in the top right corner. But yeah, the P250, I love this weapon. If they can increase the running inaccuracy by like 1.5 or 2 times the value it is right now, and just give it back its one hit kill potential, then it would be definitely like A or S tier. But now I'm gonna put it at B tier. It's a really good pistol, but it's not the best. But for $300, you can't go wrong with a P250 in an eco round. The CZ. This is a tough one because the CZ is such a mixed bag. It can deliver like crazy kills, like 2-3 kills with one magazine, and you can spam one magazine at some player and just not get a kill. It's so bipolar that it's really hard to place this one in a rank. In the days where I can really use it and get some kills, I'd say it's rank A, but no, not today. I'm gonna place it in rank B, precisely because it's not as versatile as the other pistols, but you can pick the engagements quite easily in this game. People are not that smart, and you can just pick an engagement where they are close up and just spam the whole magazine empty and steal their gun. So it's an elegant gun, but not S or A tier. The Tech 9 is buffed, and I really like it again. It's not as ridiculous as with the 32-round mag that it was in like 2014. It was ridiculous, but I really like it now. I'm gonna place it in A. I have to place it in A. It's such a great weapon. You can spam with it so easily. You just have to have the trigger finger to press the left mouse button. And when you do that and you're just running, you don't really have a lot of inaccuracy. I think they should nerf it again just a tiny bit. Just give it a bit more running inaccuracy and a bit less shooting inaccuracy. And then it's gonna be an S tier class weapon for sure. Yeah. The 5.7 is not my favorite. I don't really like using it. I always use the CZ. It does good damage, but I always seem to get 19 in one hit, so I really don't like it. 20 rounds is a lot. 100 rounds reserve is more than enough. So ammo is nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I just don't see the point in using it. It does pitiful damage against non-armor. I'm not gonna place it in D because it is for $500 pretty good, but it's not gonna be B or higher. The dualies, I like the dualies, but yeah, they're shit. They're still shit. I really like using them, I really do, but they're just shit. They're D. They do pitiful damage. They always have done. If they rework so that the accuracy from the second Beretta is consistent and the reload, you can reload like the left magazine or the right magazine and you can choose which weapon you shoot, then I'd say it's like a B tier weapon. Maybe increase the damage by 1 or 2 points, but right now it's just broken and it sucks. The Desert Eagle, it's a fun pistol. There's nothing wrong with it. It's an S tier. It takes a lot of skill. It's precisely what Counter-Strike is. A lot of skill and a lot of dedication. And then you can be a $700 killing machine. And it's just the best pistol in terms of design. I don't like that you have to shoot people 3 times in the chest sometimes and then 2 times. And it feels inconsistent. I know it isn't, but it feels. But it's just a good design. And I like it. I also suck with it, but we don't talk about this. The revolver. Now this is a fun gun. They've changed it so much, but in its current state, it's pretty fun. I saw JW getting 2 kills on the Inferno against, I don't know which team. I think it was Mouse Sports, but I'm not sure. It's just a fun weapon. It's not that great, but you can get some kills with it, and it's a fun design. It's so different from all the other weapons, and it does pretty good damage. It's pretty fun to get a kill or just get a hit. Does do like 70 damage and just run away and let your teammates do the other 30 damage. It's fun. It's not very useful, so I'm not gonna put it in B or higher. I'm gonna put it in C, but it's very fun weapon. I suggest you give it a try. Don't use it in the pistol round. It sucks in the pistol round, but it's very fun against full buying players. I suggest you try it. The Mac-10, okay, the Mac-10, I'm gonna put it in S immediately. The Mac-10 is my favorite submachine gun, because it's just so versatile. You can, okay, it's not really good at long range, fair enough, but you can jump with it very well and still get some accurate shots. People just have to adopt how they shoot, and they have to shoot body shots, and you are jumping around corners and stuff. It's just, it gives you a very free play style, and I really like that aspect of the weapon. Just being able to jump around, shoot a bit, find some cover to reload, and then jump out again. It's just fun, and it's what I like about Counter-Strike. Just those fun engagements where you can get 3 kills running around with a fucking SMG. So yeah, Mac-10 S. Now onto the MP9. The MP9 is also a very fun SMG. For the same reasons that the Mac-10 is a fun SMG, but it has some drawbacks. I don't really like that it has such a enormous knockback, but it balances the weapon out, so it's fair enough, I guess. But I'm not gonna put it at S tier. I'm gonna put it at A tier. I see the pros used a lot. It's a fun weapon. It's pretty hard to control because it has such a big spray pattern, but it's fun. It's fun. Give it a try if you don't. MP7, ooh. Since its price reduction, I think it's very versatile. But it just doesn't have the advantages that the MP9 and the Mac-10 have, because you move so slow with it. 220 units, considering you run almost as fast as with your knife when you equip the Mac-10. It's just, yeah, it feels sluggish, and that's a problem. I don't know how they would balance this, but it's just not fun to run around slow with the MP7, but it does have a very easy to control spray pattern, and in the hands of a wary player it can be very deadly, so I'm gonna put it at B. And the MP5 is kind of for the same reason. I don't know, the suppressor, it makes me feel like I get more headshots, but at the same time it feels so weak. It does like 12 damage per bullet, so I'm kind of torn on this. I'm gonna put it at C. It just feels weaker than the MP7. Its spray pattern is exactly the same, but it just feels different. I don't really like it, and I equip it at CT side, but I haven't seen a lot from this weapon, and I just don't really like it. The UMP, since its rework, I've used it a lot less. It just feels sluggish, but not with movement, but with shooting. It's just so slow compared to the other weapons, and it's frustrating. Since they nerfed its damage over range, I kind of don't see the point for the weapon anymore. It was overpowered, don't get me wrong. It was very overpowered, and it needed a change. But it's not a fun weapon. I'm gonna put it at D. I'm sorry. It's just, yeah, I don't like it. I don't use it. I can see why people use it because it is pretty slow, so the spray pattern is kind of tighter. But no, it's just not for me. P90 EZD. It sucks. It shoots fast, but any player you engage that is remotely capable of shooting heads will kill you. You're just such a walking target. And if the enemy has armor, which they shoot, then it's over. The easy D. No discussion. It's a sucky weapon. It costs too much. It doesn't have any advantages that the SMGs do have. So no, don't use it. It sucks. And the Bison is also an easy D. Yeah, it just sucks. Does pitiful damage even with its recent buff with air quotations. It sucks. It sucks. So don't use the Bison. Maybe they can buff its damage a bit. Because the 64 round mag is pretty chill, but no. The Nova is one of my old favorites. I really like using this shotgun. I buy this weapon when I have like $3,000 and my teammates all have $2,000. So I'll just spend the $1,000 and buy next round without armor, obviously, because you can shoot one accurate shot against armor, and if all pellets hit, you have a kill. And yeah, okay, you have a shotgun, so if you miss, you die. But that's why you don't buy armor, and I really like this tactic, so that's why I'm gonna put it at B. It's very versatile. It's not as good as the XM 1014. I'll get into that with my next weapon, but it's still a fun strat to just wait around the corner and ask for a flash, and then shoot the guy in the face that just got flashed. Very fun. Please try that out. Now, the XM is also a fun weapon. It shoots fast, it does pretty good damage, and the $900 killer reward, of course. So I'm gonna put it at A. It's not the top tier because it does have its disadvantages. I mean, $2,000 is very reasonable for this weapon. I'd pay $2,000, especially in an anti-eco where I can farm some money. But it's not as great as the rifles. I mean, the rifles just have such long range damage that the XM does not have. It can still headshot, but it does like 30 damage. So no, don't try that. But it's a very fun weapon, and it's reasonably versatile. Sort of sucks. D. It has a lot of spread, so it sucks. Don't use it, please. The Mag 7. The Mag 7 is fun. Jumping around corners, shooting people like the Mag 10. But it's just a lot more risky because when you miss, you're probably fucked. But it's still fun. And fun is an important factor for me. I'm gonna put it at B. It's not as versatile as the XM 1014, and it's very punishing when you miss. But it's still a fun weapon to buy when you have a bit more cash than your teammates, but you want to buy the next round anyway. So you buy this gun without armor, or maybe with a flash. It's fun. The M249 is also an easy D tier. It's a sucky weapon, too expensive, very hard spray pattern. When you die, you lose 5 grand, so it's bad. It's really bad. I don't know why Valve has never touched this weapon because it's really bad. Please don't use this weapon. Yeah. I don't think I have to explain anything else. The Negev sucks. Also a D weapon. They've tried to change it. They've tried to make it dirt cheap. I mean, $1,700 is a joke. Some people have found success with it. I haven't. It's not fun to use. I don't like the mechanic that you have to spray for it to become accurate. That's kind of the opposite of what you would expect. It's really dumb. Too much randomness. It's just not fun. Randomness kills the fun. And also just the killing factor, which is pretty important in a shooter. The Galil, I really, really, really like the Galil in its current state. I'm gonna put it at S. For $1,800, you can get a bomb plant in the first round but lose it, and just full on rush Galils with armor in the next round. It's so much fun. It's such a great weapon. 35 rounds is really nice, because when you get a kill, you have to spray with a Galil, but when you get a kill, you have still like 18, 20 rounds left, so it's a good weapon. Maybe you could consider it overpowered. Maybe they could nerf it just a tiny bit, but it's fun. It's fun. Please use the Galil more. It's a lot of fun. The FAMAS, not quite on the same level. FAMAS is alright, I guess. For 2050, it's a pretty good buy when you want to have grenades. You have at least a weapon that's capable of doing damage, but I just find it frustrating because its spray pattern is like a snake and it's really dumb. You can try to look it up yourself what spray pattern looks, but it's dumb. I don't like it. Sometimes you can get on those tears where you get like 2-3 kills, but with 25 rounds it's pretty hard, and I find it too situational. It doesn't have good long range damage, so I'm gonna put it at C. It's not as bad as the D tier, thank God, but it's not fun. Okay, the scout. The scout is very versatile, but I'm not a sniper. I don't really snipe a lot in these games, so I guess you could make a point for it that it's like an S tier, but I just don't like it. In the hands of a wary player, definitely deadly. Definitely watch out for scout players, but I'm gonna put it at A right now. Okay, so the next weapon is the M4A1S, and to be fairly honest, I have no idea what I have to think about this gun. $2,900. It's a pretty solid buy. I mean, not free, but you could have had a flashbang if the M4A4 was as cheap as this, but it's not. So a flashbang plus this gun is pretty nice, but the 600 rounds, it feels just a lot slower than the M4A4, which is not necessarily a problem, but it's not a playstyle I'm used to. So I'm gonna put it at B. It's a fun weapon, especially because it's suppressed. The headshots get extra sound, which is fun. And for A4, S tier. Yes, it just feels great. It shoots fast. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it on A tier. And the reason I do this is because I always get 88 in 4. Always. I think it's that the M4 does not one hit headshot, fair enough, but that it's not a 4-hit kill to the chest or the stomach, I just really don't like this. Getting 88 in 4 makes me very triggered, so it's not an S tier, it's an A tier. I still prefer it over the M4A1S. I've always preferred it over the M4A1S. But yeah. AK-47, S tier, easy. One-hit headshot, feels great. Has a bit of inaccuracy, which I don't really like, but it's an old weapon, so I guess you could make a case for it. So yeah, I don't really have to explain this. It's a one-hit kill. It's a 4-hit kill to the chest. It does reasonable damage against non-armor. So I guess that's why my teammates buy it in the anti-eco and still die. Yeah, it's a good weapon. Okay, the op. Once again, I'm not a sniper, so I don't really know a whole lot about this weapon. Of course, I've sniped, but not a whole lot. I'm gonna put it at S tier anyway. It's just a great weapon for 47.50. It's expensive, but it's great. I don't really know what else to say. It's just a great weapon. Maybe it needs a bit of a nerf because the falling accuracy for some reason is like inhumanly small. So when people jump out of Mirage window, then they can get an easy kill on you, which I think is bullshit. And sometimes I get killed by seeing only someone's shoulder, so that also makes me triggered. But it's still an S tier weapon. And by the way, S tier does not mean that they have to be nerfed. It's just that they're my best and the most favorite weapons. Okay, the SG553, since it's new rework, I'm gonna put it at C. It used to be my favorite gun. I've used it since I played this game. I've never used anything else. I've used it from Silver Elite to Global Elite. But they nerfed it into the ground. It's just shit now. 545 rounds per minute, that's nothing. It just feels sluggish. And it doesn't feel nice. It's like a one-tap machine now, but I was never really good at that. So, no, I don't like it. It's too sluggish. They should have decreased it from 667 to 600. rounds per minute, but I didn't, so that makes me sad. I love this weapon, and now it's dead. Okay, the AUG, I like the AUG. It's a B tier weapon, not S or A because it's pretty expensive, but I like this weapon. Even with the slower fire rate, I've still used it a lot. Less than the M4A4, I have to admit, but it's a fun weapon and it triggers people a lot, which I find very funny. There was a time that this was more accurate than the AWP, but I think that time is long gone now. But it's still a fun weapon to use. Nothing wrong with it. It's just sad when you die and you lose this weapon and you're $3,300. That's sad. The G3SG1, it's an auto sniper. The site does not really have a benefit for auto snipers, so it's not as bad as the D tier, but it's a C tier weapon. Yeah, terrorists don't need an auto sniper because it's really not useful. Only for Dust 2 last round 4 auto snipers, it's pretty fun, but no, it's just not very versatile. And its reloading costs like 5.5, 6 seconds, which is ridiculous. So it's not a great weapon. It's bad compared to the Scar 20. It has less tagging, it has a slower reload animation. So yeah, it's not a D though because it does quite a huge amount of damage, and its no scoping is pretty solid, I'd say. If you kind of know where your crosshair is, then you can get some shots up medium range. And the Scar 20 is an A tier for me. I buy the Scar 20 over the AWP, I'll admit it immediately. I'm the person that buys the Scar 20 in round 5. Because it's just great for mowing down enemies. And you could make a point that it's not one hit kill potential compared to the AWP is a bad thing. Which, yes, it is. But people get so panicked when they fight an auto sniper that they suddenly can't aim. So I think that's funny. And I really like the auto sniper, precisely for that reason. Just to trigger people and see them whiff against my semi-automatic auto sniper. And then the knife. The knife is a fun weapon. I really like using the knife, especially in the pistol round. When the enemy is like getting shot at by 3 of your teammates and has no ammo, I'll just whip out the knife and knife them in the back. I have a funny clip. Oh, I can show you afterwards, where I get 3 knife kills because my enemy is so dumb. These moments just make your blood rush, and I think the knife is a very fun weapon. It does stimulate players to whip it out when they shouldn't, and that still triggers me. I suggest if you have this habit to just unbind the knife, only play with 1 and 2. At least that's are the primary and secondary weapon slots for my keyboards. But it's a fun weapon, and it is humiliating, and I like it a lot. I wouldn't say it's S tier, but it's definitely A tier. So anyway, this was the video. I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, this is my final list, and I'll see you in the next video.